All right, here we go. Great. Welcome, everyone. It's our June webinar. We're heading into summer. I don't know about you guys. I know Chrissy's in New York dealing with storms, and I'm in Kansas dealing with storms. So we're hoping weather doesn't become an issue with this. But my office is in the basement, so I'm good in Kansas with I had a big tornado warning yesterday, actually. But anyway. Today's webinar is on campaign preparation. A little early, but some of you are getting going with this already. And we are super, super excited because we got new stuff, new ways to do things, new things to look at. And we want to give you guys time to kind of know about them, decide if you want to use some of this going into campaign season, and just check it all out. So pretty exciting stuff going on. So we thank you for joining us today. We're just gonna get right into it. This is Zoom webinar. If you would please make sure you're using that Q&A box. I anticipate questions for this one because we're again showing new stuff. So please make sure you have that Q&A box handy. That's how you put your questions into us as we go through this today. But let's take a look at our group. Myself, Chrissy, Jordan, we're all presenting. Christina's here helping with questions. Don't have Brian on today, but I'll throw a pitch for him. If you know of any other organization in need of a website, we would love to work with them and you get a referral. So please let us know. Brian's our lead sales executive and he can help with all of that as well. Okay. Here's our agenda today. Got a lot going on. My Know Your Audience has a bunch of questions in it, but they're all yes and no, so they're real quick, and it's going to help us guide this meeting today. We got our Did You Knows. Chrissy's going to do a showcase on samples of some really cool campaign-related pages. I'll get into some practical stuff on some pledge cards, some of the new things, campaign pages, embedding campaign video, some of that. So Layout Builder is a piece we've been talking about for a few years, and this is one of the new things that we're gonna show today because it's like it's ready, pretty much done. So that, and then we got some stuff, the bus things going on, and we wanted to share something about that because it's kind of exciting. And our feedback. That's our agenda. So that's our plan for the day. Know your audience. I'm going to kick off with this poll. Don't be intimidated. There's like 5 questions, but they're all yes, nos. So it should be on your screen right now. We're wanting to know what you're currently doing. You using our web forms for your electronic pledge cards. And if you're not sure, just say no. Does your organization even have a Stripe account? Do you create like unique campaign pages for your business, like a school page and a bank page and are you embedding your campaign video? And then the stuff the bus, we're just curious if you guys run something like that. So we know a lot of our organizations do, but not everyone. All right. No, it's 5 questions, so it's taking a second. Let you guys knock that out and then we'll share the results, see what we got here. Pretty good split. Okay. So hopefully you see that on the screen. You can just hit all the buttons, hit submit, and then we'll be good. My participation's still going. All right, I'm about to wrap it up. My last few folks who are jumping in there. Oh, and people are just still joining the webinar. All right, our poll question is up. And I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. 3, 2, 1. Let's end it. There we go. All right. So half of you are using electronic pledge cards through the website. So that's great. And the ones that aren't, this might be that you become interested in doing that, or you might have another way of doing it. Just depends on what you want to do. Stripe accounts, great. 77% are yes. That's fantastic. Because what we're going to feature with some of our new stuff has to do with Stripe. Okay. And almost an even split on workplace campaign pages, even split on videos. And oh, fewer of you do the stuff the bus than I was expecting. So well, that's all right. We'll still share our little stuff with it. Okay. All right. Keeping this going. Here's our Did You Knows for this webinar. Um, Hopefully everyone knows you can clone things. So I just wanted to remind you, like, if you're doing those workplace pages, maybe you create a template for the year, like with the layout and the styling that you want. Maybe you have your video on it. Maybe you have links to your brochure and your agencies and all sorts of different stuff. And then the card on it and have basic design. So create it as a template so it's easy to clone. Same with your pledge card. You're going to want to have that. Usually most of our folks prefer to have a pledge card individualized for each organization that you're doing that with, because everyone has different pay periods. Some of them ask for different information. So create a template that you can clone from. That's key. Make sure your main pages are easy URLs like /campaign. That way people bookmark it and have it year after year after year. And for businesses like /USD 362, whatever it is. Um, Anything that is really easy that it becomes theirs and you keep it year after year. So sometimes we'll see folks do a page and call it 2026 campaign for the school. Well, if you don't change the URL, it's a really long URL and then it's different every year. So make sure you're thinking about the fact that you want to lock a permanent URL in for any one of those campaign pages. So it's the same one year after year after year. And they have it bookmarked. And then if there's QR codes related to it, they still work, all of that good stuff. I am going to demonstrate this today on the web forms. When you work with an organization and you have someone who's really involved and they're like, I want to report every day. And we can give them access to pull reports. So I'm going to show you how that works if you haven't seen that before. So if you know, and maybe not every business wants this, but you might have a certain business where someone's really engaged and they just want to be able to see how it's doing. There is the ability to give them an access just to get to the results and not actually to edit things. So that's kind of cool. And then we'll just make sure that everyone knows how to do that video embed. Those are kind of cool too. All right, that's my Did You Knows for this month. And now we're going to turn it over to Chrissy for a showcase. She's going to do some show and tell on some of our favorite things. So let me stop sharing.
Okay.
And Chrissy, you're up.
All right. I love getting to do this part because we love to showcase the great work that you're all doing. And we always invite you, please, 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 if you're proud of a page, you have pages that you love, that you put a lot of work into it, we would love to have those so that we can showcase those for you. Um, Otherwise, we're kind of going through and researching. We have lots of accounts. And so we try to highlight everybody's great work. So please don't forget to send those to us. But the first one I wanted to start with, this is from United Way of Rock River Valley. This is their workplace campaign page. They're using a great header image and also the overlays that come with our newer United Way branded designs. Um, they're using the header font, the header 2 font that's great for search engine optimization. They're using link buttons, which these are really cool because these actually, they have these set up as anchor links. So you can click on them, goes right to the workplace portal part of the page. I know I'm seeing a lot of customers really into these anchor links and wanting to set those up. They're really easy to do. And we'd be happy to show you if you'd like to work with those on your pages. But they also are using accordions to house some information, which is great. And then, of course, the workplace portal, where you can click on the company's link and go right to a beautiful company page that's clean, easy to navigate. They're using columns unequal with some quick links. And they've also added the workplace pledge card as a web form component to the basic page. So this is great. Um, Then here, this is from United Way of Central Illinois for their workplace giving portal. They're actually organizing all the companies' logos into columns equal so that when you click on one of these companies' logos, you'll go right to a nice company page where they also, just like Rock River Valley, they've added the web form, the pledge card, as a web form component to the basic page. They also, what I liked here too, is they've kind of individualized their different company pages for if they want to support, a lot of the employees belong to other United Ways. And so they've included the areas United Ways so that if they want to click on them, go to their website to support, they certainly can do so. And moving right along here, this one here is from United Way of Clallam County. Again, a beautiful, nice header image, more of the website overlays these new designs have. There's many of these they can choose from to place over their header images. What I liked about this one too, they did a lot of work designing images that they've uploaded to use on the page. They're using columns, they're using text and image components. They put work into designing these. And this is actually columns equal page component they're using. I just thought this was very visually appealing. I love these little circles to really bring the impact as far as what these dollar amounts are providing. Uh, there's more of that too, more images. And then they've also featured in columns equal all the different logos for their employee giving campaigns as well. So I thought that was really nice, great use of imagery. Um, so yeah, great job there. And then this one is more simple. They're not using a header image. This is United Way of Southeast Georgia, but I liked that it shows the carousel component that you can use, where you can have sliding images. You can use these for even testimonials on pages. They'll scroll automatically, or the user can also click on the arrows to scroll through them. And then they're also using columns equal, and they're taking advantage of the background color that's available in the rich component styling settings. And if you're not doing a lot of work with page components on your pages yet, and you're kind of like, okay, what is all this? Please reach out to us. There's plenty of training resources. We're happy to help you work with some of these to learn how to use some of these so that you can create these visually appealing pages. This is just a simple one from Heart of Arkansas United Way, but it gets right to the point. They're just using, inserting the image and using the alignment with the image that's available as far as wrapping the text to whichever side of the image you'd like it to be. And then the accordions, which are always nice for all of the different campaign materials, things that people need access to. Short, sweet, clean. So I just thought I'd show this one. And then this one here, United Way, Monterey County. I liked this. They are using a lot of columns on this page, the link buttons. I like how they set up their campaign resources, a little different way of laying them out rather than accordions. They're using the columns equal, and they're using the headers that are the headed fonts that are in their website. But they're also embedding videos. They have a video for each of their impact areas. And then featuring their workplace campaign partners. But I like this too, because they even included a web form for if somebody has questions or wants to get involved and run a workplace campaign. They can fill out the web form that's on this page. And then when you click on one of their companies, again, a really nice layout for a company page. They've included, somebody with the company, probably maybe their ECC or one of the leaders of this company supporting their United Way. So great use of images that they've included, campaign resources. And then again, they're embedding videos, all their different impact area videos for each company page so that they have access to those. And then my last two examples for today, I wanted to include. This one here is United Way of Amarillo and Canyon County. And so what they've done, they've used a lot of anchor links with this page. they chose to use the link buttons, and all of these link buttons are set up as anchor links that will take you to whatever, because this is kind of a long page, which will take you to the various sections of the page rather than create a new page for each of these sections. So as you can see, it kind of is a long page, but what makes it nice is those anchor links at the top, um, which if you were to click on it, it would bring you to that part of the page. And the other thing I like that they did is they also place these anchor links in their main menu as drop downs for the fundraising. So instead of all new pages for these, it's just these anchor links that bring them right to that particular section of this overall page. They're also using background images in the columns. As you can see here, these are the branded background. There's a bunch of branded background images in our newer United Way designs that you can use. So I thought that looked good, how they're doing that. And my last one, I just like this. This is a United Way of Lee, Hendry, and Glades. This is our new pop-up. We do have a couple pop-ups that you can purchase as add-ons for your sites. This is our more stylized United Way branded pop-up if you want it, and you're able to customize this, switch it out, enable it, disable it, put it on any page of your website. But I thought it was cool because it really brings attention to your campaign. When I click donate today, it goes to their campaign page. They're currently doing a funding gap campaign. But they're also, they've added the web form as a web form component within columns, and they're using the background images as well for other information on the page. And so I just thought that was kind of cool. If you like that pop-up, it is available as an add-on cost. Just reach out to your account manager and we can help you with that. But those are all my examples for today. And now I will stop sharing and turn it back to Allison.
All right. Back to me. And then we're going to bounce to Jordan. We're like, everyone's kind of taking part
We're
today.
bouncing around.
All right. I did want to show the campaign video piece. I know a lot of you say you include it in your site. I often see that it'll sometimes be like its own page, or like we saw with Monterey, like on a page with several of them, that sort of thing. But definitely nice to be able to have this on your site. So I'm just going to do a quick show on that as far as how you do this. So for any video on your website, whether it's on YouTube or Vimeo, it's got to be on a third-party tool because video files are giant. So you do have to load it somewhere. Typically, folks will load it. Mostly we see on YouTube. It's really great if you have a YouTube channel for your organization. That is one of those areas that I can't tell you how many times I've talked to folks and they're like, it's tied to a person who's left and they don't know how to get to it. Please make sure with these that you're using some kind of generic email tied to it. YouTube's tied usually to Gmail accounts. If you have a generic Gmail for your organization, you use it for your YouTube, you use it for your Google Analytics. That's ideal. And that you have you can keep using it year after year. Anyway, so how do you embed the video? We are going to go ahead and click the share button under the video and click the embed. And that will give you what's called an iframe. Now our team can help you style it so that it maximizes to 100% of your page and for different screen sizes, but you can go ahead and copy that embed code. And I'm not logged in. What do you know? Am I not logged in? I'm not logged in. Let me do that real quick. And we'll come back and look at that page here in just a second. Okay, so content, add content, basic page. That's how I would choose to do this in this situation. I would do one called campaign video. And then the video is always code. You got source code, you need to go to the word source and place the code there. Click source, and you can center it up and hit save. And of course, add it to the menu, all that stuff, but I'm not going to go to those details. But I do want to make sure you know how to do that. You can do columns for it. You can set it up however you want. But yeah, a lot of times I see links out to the video. I think it's really nice to place it on your page. So that's a tip. I highly recommend that. All right, let's go look at that last page that was sitting there. Let's see here. Yes, and I will say I saw someone's note. I'm in Drupal 10 right now. Some of you are possibly still in Drupal 9 or a different version. It might look a little different, but the functionality really is going to be the same. It might look just a little different. And if you have questions on that, reach out to your account manager. We can help you with that. Okay. And Jordan helped me through some of the stuff too. We're going to talk about some new features with the pledge card. Okay, let me do my other one first, and then we'll flip back and forth. For those of you who've used our online pledge card before, we had a continual challenge of the fact that we had to kick credit card out to somewhere else. And we have a solution for that. We are super excited about this. There's several options, but this sample is using Zephy. We're going to show you a sample using our Stripe forms because we have a new update to the Stripe embed that will allow you to have the transaction on the same form, the total show, all of that fantastic stuff. Let me show you with this, and then we'll show it to you with Stripe. So it's the same pledge card for the most part. You know, you have your payroll deductions, you have your amounts, you can do your math and total it. And this is a piece when you guys are working with an employer that's really great to like set the number of pay periods specific to that employer. So if they only do 24, then that's the only option. No one picks it, it's automatic. It does the math for you. So those are great things. Check options, if you want to add that. Cash options brings the total in. Some do bill me if you want to figure out a bill me setup. But for credit card, what we're going to be using, whether it's using Zephy or whether it's using the new Stripe, is going to be something I refer to more as like a shadow box. It's on the page and it will run the transaction, but it won't, but you won't have to go to another page. So you'll be able to have them run it right here, put their total in and total it out through here. So this is an exciting solution to have one pledge card, have everything that you're wanting on it. Okay. In our Stripe world, and we're finalizing this feature. It's still in its final stages of development. That's why we asked in the beginning who has Stripe, because we're going to be curious as to who's going to be interested in this, and that's going to be a poll question at the end. So don't leave early. We want to know who might be interested in getting some of these features added on. So we'll ask about that at the end. But here's what the Stripe one looks like now. If they pick credit card, it's going to have a pop-up like I said, like a light box. And we need to maneuver this a bit, but they'll be able to put the credit card right in here and it's going to pull whatever total they tell it to pull. So if they say I'm giving $200 one time, then that amount will pull into here and transact. You can also add in processing fee and it'll put that in there as well. So that can be built into the form so that it's part of your form results. Hey, Jordan, you want to pop in and make some comments on this or give me any different links? You're muted.
Sorry, I was just typing up an answer to a question.
Oh.
Yes, we are very excited about the new Stripe form because it will allow you to have all of your donation options on one page. Same with recurring. You can do one time or recurring on the same form with this Stripe embed. The embed that we took here is part of what we developed with our Mindful Giving platform. We had to build from scratch a payment processor that connected to Stripe. And that development allowed us to carry that over into the web form. So a lot of the limitations we had before are no longer there because we've got this new route that's tested and working great on our Mindful Giving side. So this Stripe payment is very easy to add. It is no longer an element. If you're used to seeing an element added to your web form, that Stripe payment processor, this is added a little bit different. But I do think it's easier to manage moving forward. If you're going to create new donation forms or pledge cards, it's much easier to manage. You guys will be able to build that form and simply pop this Stripe box right on there. So we're very excited about this. Your account managers, once we have it ready, will be able to show you, get this added to your site, show you how to work with it. We've been working with just a couple, about 3 or 4 United Ways that have very graciously let us test this out on their sites. Testing is going very, very well, and we are just probably a couple weeks away from being okay to fully roll this out. So very excited about it.
Yeah, and this isn't just for your pledge card. It's for your donation page. It's for your events. You're going to be able to have this. So I'm watching these questions come in, and I see Christine and everyone's furiously answering. Thank you guys for participating. You guys know, look in the answer column to see what people are asking and see the answers. But I want to address some of those that have popped through. I did show a Zephy sample, and the reason is just because this is something that someone actually did, and I thought it was kind of cool to show. The one thing that's a little different here is that the person would still have to manually enter their total in for you to have it, like it's not connected. So the big bonus and difference with the way this is going to work is it will do the math, and that field is the total field is what's going to transact through Stripe. So they don't have to write, oh, I did this amount. They're not putting the amount in the shadow box with our Stripe form. They're just processing. So it's really cool because it takes all of our little issues off the table. No longer could we not show the total because it's processing a thing. No longer do we have to isolate the credit card. It can all be on the same page. So this is really, I think, the ideal option. Stripe is available for nonprofits at a discounted rate. If you're having problems connecting with Stripe, I would email nonprofit@stripe.com. And I've known that to be decently responsive. Let them know you're a nonprofit. They're going to need to see your 501c3. You should be getting a better rate. The other question that I saw pop up, and I'm not reading them all right now because there's a lot going on over there, is about the history of someone. Like, can it tell them, hey, last year you gave this amount, and what do you want to do this year? At this time, no, that's really not a feature. It's always something that could be programmed in, but it would be custom programming and be a bit of work because it would have to tie to some kind of database that has that info. So at this time, I'd say that's really not a feature that we're actively got to show you. And I get that. The other thing here, former United Way director, I've done this stuff. The thing you're going to keep in mind is whether or not you want to do something like this or you have a platform that dumps into your database, because you're still going to have to pull this data and get it into your database, whether you have some kind of export import feature or someone has to key it. This doesn't have an auto feed into whatever database tool you're using, but it does allow you to have this electronic piece. So you have to weigh those details as to what works for you, but it makes the user experience pretty good. So you guys tell me, there's all these questions going on. What do we got?
I think there's the first one I see in here is maybe just walking through how payroll deduction works on the pledge form, kind of what that start to finish, what that process looks like. How do they get, the payroll deduction submissions over to the employer to go ahead and.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's great segue because I'm going to show you how we can set up even a campaign coordinator to get the results and that sort of stuff. So good question. So once we get your template in place, that's what we're going to want to do is have your pledge card template. If you're a United Way or an organization that doesn't do bill me, we won't put it into your template. Or if you're not going to deal with cash, that's up to you. Payroll deductions, some of them only have payroll deductions in credit card or even only payroll deductions. Once the payroll deduction option is here, you can give them contribution amounts to choose from. Sometimes we'll see ones that are listed like $1,000 a year as leadership. We can also do a calculation for fair share if you're doing something along those lines. Or if you have an incentive program, if they give X amount, they qualify. That's when you get customized in for each employer. And that can be really kind of cool. So we can add those things where it pops up a message and says, hey, you just qualified for this, or if they've reached a certain total. So yeah, so once it's done, and I have a result, I filled one out earlier, it's going to generate your results just like any web form. But what I love here is I love that you can have that nice PDF version. So, we're used to the paper version of a pledge card. Here's your paper version, right? It's got the person's name, how they gave, the amount, what they designated to, whatever questions you have on there. They'll get emailed a copy, you'll get emailed a copy. Now let me log out and show you a sample of if we created permission for a campaign coordinator to go and get this information. Now they need to know a little bit about how to get there, but they would have a username, a login, and a password, but their permission base is only set to whatever you give them, which in this case is going to be, you would give them the link and you're like, okay, you need to go to this page. So now when I go to this page, this campaign coordinator has the ability to see the card and see results. And that's it. Can't edit it. They can't do anything. When they go to the results page, and mind you, we can make that darker, they'll see the results that are out there, which of course is just my one. They'll be able to come here to view it. They can download it, so they can do a CSV export themselves, or they can download it. Oops, not that one. Where is it? They can, up here. They can download the PDF documents of it, or they can download the spreadsheet of it, depending, employers, sometimes their bookkeeping might need it a certain way, or how they're going to process it and put it in for their payroll. So you can even do it by a date range if you want when you pull these reports, and then they do a download. Okay. So yes, you can either do it yourself and send it to them, or they can come in and do it. But it's nice to be able to give them the option to come and access it. That can be kind of handy. Jordan, what else do we got? And let me show you where that setting is actually while you're pulling this. Let me log out. Did you have more questions?
I think we have cleared the Q&A box, but if there's any more questions, please feel free to pop them in that Q&A.
Yeah. So if you are in need of someone getting to those results like that, they do have to have an account, and it's just what we call an authenticated user account, which honestly, depending on your setting, you're able to set up, but if you need us to set it up, we can as well. Once they have an account, under settings, you're going to give them access. So that is a special thing that to view any submission, I found that account and I gave them access. So when that account's logged in, they have access to view submissions on this. No, I just think that that's a nice, handy way of doing it. Okay. All right. Any other questions on the pledge cards? And we're going to talk about the layout options. So one of the things with Chrissy just showed you all these great page layouts, coming up with your design, coming up with what you would like your template to be for your campaign page, how you want that laid out, what your information is, et cetera, et cetera. You want to decide on that template, and now is a good time to kind of start figuring it out. Now, going to switch it over to Jordan here in a second, and she's going to talk about our new feature, Layout Builder, which is going to be done by the end of the month, Jordan says.
Yeah.
And we're going to have this as a feature if you're interested in using that. So let me stop sharing. Let's let her talk about it. I do want to stress with this Layout Builder option that she's showing, it's a new feature. It would require rebuilding a page. But Jordan, why don't
Sure.
you this stuff's cool, guys. Check it out.
Yes, I'm gonna share, and before I dive into Layout Builder, just because I did see a question come through on the payment options for the Stripe payment processor, I just want to show what those options are because there will be credit and debit card. We're also going to have Apple Pay available, which I'm really, really excited about for all of those users that look on their site on mobile. So you won't see it on your desktop unless you're in a Safari browser, is when you'll see Apple Pay pop up. This is the pledge card. You can see the amount, that Stripe payment processor, and then Apple Pay does show up. And we have tested this, have done it on some of our test customers here. It is working flawlessly, which is great. So again, very excited, just a couple weeks away of wrapping up development on this, and we'll be able to roll it out. But wanted to show you guys what it looked like on just some donation pages that just have that Stripe, just a simple Stripe web form with one-time or recurring. So, all right, let's dive into Layout Builder then. We have been working for quite some time on Layout Builder. It is something that is constantly evolving within the Drupal community, but we're very, very excited that we are just at the final stages of it. Our goal is to have our version of Layout Builder completed and ready to roll out to all of your sites by the end of this month, which is just a couple weeks away. So I went ahead quickly and tried to put together a workplace campaign page that I built in Layout Builder so you guys can take a look at what that looks like. Our Layout Builder will only be available right now on basic pages. So you'll get a new content type added to your site that just says basic page Layout Builder. There is not a way, unfortunately, to convert existing pages to a Layout Builder page. It is a manual rebuild process, but one that you can do over time. If you set a goal of, maybe a couple pages a week just to carry them over with the new features, you can start to slowly transition those over. So this is a workplace campaign page that I built in Layout Builder. We do have very similar blocks that we have to our page components. So just a basic rich text editor block right here. It does allow you to add background images to those blocks. I did add some columns with buttons in there. And as you saw, as I scrolled down, don't miss it, there's a little bit of animation that you can add to all of the different blocks and sections. So these buttons kind of zoomed in. There's lots of different options there. I have all these buttons. They're styled slightly different. We've got a square, rounded corners, or a circle button. You can choose all of those settings, pick the button colors, all of that. We've got some call to actions. This will put some boxes that I'll highlight as you hover over them. The other one that I think is cool is you can make a full width button. So you can make a button that's very, very large. It spans from the width end to end of the page there. If you really need to make a button stand out, you can do that. We'll still have accordions here that can open out. There'll be some options here on how you want the styling of these to look. If you want them all opened by default or closed by default. If you want the plus and minus side on the right-hand side, rather the left-hand side, there's lots of style options there. And then just kind of a text and image. I put this together this morning just to show you what you can do with a workplace portal or a workplace campaign. But I do have, and this is a link that we can share out if you do want to see the other components or the blocks of Layout Builder. We do have a demo page set up. On this page, we've got just some frequently asked questions about Layout Builder that we're anticipating that you guys will have. So we've got little notes about all of the different blocks. There's 8 different custom blocks that you'll be able to use. These are just like your components. So there's 8 different components you can add on the page. The header image is one of them. It includes all of our overlays and the shadow opacity that you can add on top of it. So we've got some notes here on that. some notes about sections and block styles in Layout Builder. There is a countdown block that you can add, which we're excited about. A few different styling options here. Again, you can have buttons.
So, Jordan, there's a question that popped in.
Oh, yeah.
And just so everyone realizes, and she's going to show you the backside of this in a minute, this is a front end editor. So you're doing everything from the front side instead of the back end like Drupal. When you are able to put background colors and stuff, can you set the opacity on that?
Not within the site itself. You'll have to add that before you upload the image. The only area that we have opacity set is on the header image here. So just like on our sites now, when you upload that header image field, there's on some themes, there is an option to set that opacity percentage level. It's the same here as well. So if you are adding a background to a page component and you're going to use an image, you want to set that opacity level before you upload the image to be used.
Okay, thank you.
Counters,
I love the counters. Yay. It's just a block YAD. Isn't that cool?
yes, and I'll go into the backend here in a second. I just wanted to show what was available. Yeah, we've got animation. You can create one to 4 columns and add all of the blocks in here that you need. Again, we've got the FAQs here.
And with the accordions, you can like have them automatically open, or there's different settings in that. I saw that. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah. The other neat block that I'm excited about is the timeline block. We've had a lot of requests for these in the past. So you can create a timeline and then you can select, where you're currently at in the timeline if you need to. And as you can see, I did add a background behind this. You can add a video background into a section. So not only just an image, but if you want some more movement on the page, this is a video background. We've got cards, tabs, all the ones that you're familiar with seeing, and then a text and image and some more basic blocks. So again, very excited about Layout Builder. If we jump into the back end here, instead of editing your pages with the edit button, once you have the Layout Builder basic pages, you will use the Layout tab to edit those pages. And this will keep you on the page view, so you'll be able to see your page layout as you're scrolling to edit the different sections. If I wanted to, even split up, maybe if I took this section here and said, I want to actually put this in columns. I don't like that it's all in one row. How do I make columns? To do that, everything is made in sections or in blocks. So the section is your columns. Do you want a 1-column section, a 2-column section? This is where you can decide how you want that layout to look. If I selected 2 columns, I can then have options for setting how I want them to display on desktop, tablet, or mobile, which is very nice. You can control that. I'm just going to set a 50-50 for everything and add my section. This gave me 2 columns here, and it has that add block button, so I can go ahead and start adding blocks in there. But I already have my blocks built. So all I'm going to do is drag it up to the section I want it to be. And then I think I need one more. This is a block on its own as well, but I need that in a 1 column. So let's add one more section here for me to work in. And we can drag my notes about Layout Builder support up into that section. And then I will save the layout.
I did have a question about going outside the parameters, the edge to edge option, like going outside that square part of the page. I know we were working on it. Is that in place yet, or are we still working on it?
Let me test that out. So we do have, we can maybe use this section right here. Within each section and within each block, there are some styling settings that are available. These are what comes standard with Layout Builder. They're not styling settings that we put in place. So the capabilities there, we are limited on what it can and can't do just based on the community and what's been developed. But there are options here for the container type. So if you want boxed or full width or edge-to-edge content, you can select that. And then there's additional style settings down here. The animation is here. This is where you can choose some different options. You can add some shadows. This is where I added the background image or video that you can pull into place here. So let's test that edge to edge.
And you can add borders. Someone just asked. I saw borders as an option.
Oh, yes. Here, let's go. So borders are right here. So these are limited and these are kind of the Layout Builder standard. So the colors here are a little bit limited, but again, you can do the background image as well. So let's save that and take a peek. Again, we are just in the very, very final stages of cleaning up the development. This will be ready at the end of this month. We may have, I'll have to test it out. I'm not seeing it reflect at the moment, Allison.
Okay. Yeah, my understanding was it was still in the works.
So yeah, super excited. We'll have some training resources put together, and your account managers will be able to help you navigate kind of all things Layout Builder. But I know this has been something we've been working on for a very, very long time. We are very excited to see it get pushed out here very soon.
So as you think about your campaign pages, and if you think this is something you might want to create a template using Layout Builder, you'll still be able to clone it just like you're able to clone pages now. But you could style it then with the animation features, which is nice, and some different, different design elements to it. So if this looks of interest to you, it's done very different than what, if you're really used to the other setup, it's another new learn, and we're going to do a webinar on it in a couple months. But yeah, it gives you just more options, and a lot of people have wanted that animation kind of stuff. So there you go. We're excited. All right, Jordan. Let's see here. You good?
Yes. Do you want to take over, or do you want me to keep sharing?
Do you have the Stuff the Bus one up?
I do. I can
Yeah,
share.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So this, and Allison, I can let you talk. I'll be your driver here.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show this, and I know it was only about 25% of you who said you were doing this, but whether you're doing Stuff the Bus or something else, here's what I want everyone to know. This new tool, let me answer one other question on Layout Builder. I was asked, is there an additional cost? It is not an additional cost. This that I'm going to show you here, this is an additional cost, but it's highly discounted for our website customers. But here's the thing. I mean, I was a United Way director from 2003 to 2006, and it was all workplace campaign. That was our life. The world has shifted, and we need to find donors different ways. We need to engage people different ways. Our younger donors want different things. So this is a platform that not only can get you stuff, but it can just get you donations and contact information. So if you go ahead and click into it, if you think about trying to reach new donors, and like if you do a Stuff the Bus campaign, which some of you guys do, and you have drop-off points and people are dropping them off, you don't know who they are. You don't know their names. You don't have that contact information. That's so highly valuable in our world of making connections with folks. So having something where either they're purchasing here, which could go through Amazon, or that very top one, Stuff the Bus backpack. That's a fund a need type of thing. Like $50, we'll take the money and we're going to go buy the items because we have the vendors. This stuff then can all ship to one location if you have a distribution spot. And as a customer of ours, you can have like 10 campaigns going at a time. So one of the other things that I thought was kind of neat is one of our United ways is letting their agencies use this, but it all channels through you. So you're getting the contact information on everyone, even though they might be getting the products. Like if you have a soup kitchen that needs stuff or a senior center that needs stuff, and you offer this to them as something special that they can use, and that stuff gets shipped to them, it's going to channel through you as far as the funds go, because they are actually making a donation to the United Way and you pay it back out. So, and it uses Stripe also. I just think you can engage so many new donors this way without having to like not know who they are. Yeah, I mean, Amazon orders, sure. This can tie to Amazon, absolutely. You can pick from their products, put there, you can put a limit on how many things on different stuff. We've talked about this feature before, but it's evolved a lot in our organization and it looks fabulous and it's working great. We have some recent testimonials who said that like half of the people who were using it, or more than half of the people who were using it, were new donors to them, new connections, people they didn't have before. So want to make sure everyone knows about this. I'll tell you, it's you get 10 campaigns at a time, and it is a flat cost of $600 a year. So I'll throw that out at you so you know what it is. But the amount of people getting just those donations is way paying for it. Like if you do some of those fund needs and stuff, you do a good social media campaign, it's actually a really, really, really good deal. And yes, this works with Stripe. It's kind of that same setup that Jordan showed you that we're doing with the web forms. It actually came from how we are doing it with this platform. That's how we first developed it for this platform, and now we're pulling it over into the websites. So our final poll question, let me go ahead and throw it up there. I'm going to launch it on top of you there, Jordan. We want to know if you're interested in this stuff. So if you're interested in that new Stripe integration, let us know. If you're interested in getting a layout builder added to your site, or you're interested in mindful giving, this is that stuff, the bus is called mindful giving. So if any of the stuff that we've shown you here today is of interest to you, please let us know so that we can follow up with you and make sure that you get these things in place. Again, you can always book with your account managers, and yeah. Hey Jordan, since you have screen, do you have the slide deck up available?
Yes.
Stripe integration is not extra. So we're at the feedback poll right now. And then, yeah, that's fine. All right. This is when I see who's paying attention. Hey, you guys, there's a poll on the screen. We'd just like to know your feedback if you're interested. I'll be shutting it down here in just a second, but this will let us know so we can get back to you if this stuff is of interest to you at all. Okay. I'm gonna wrap that up here shortly. Any other questions coming in? No? We had a lot of questions. Thank you guys so much for your participation, your questions. We're really excited about these new things. We're hoping that they'll all be tools that will be very helpful for you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. I'm not going to share that one. That's more for our feedback so that we can make sure we get back in touch with you guys about this. Oh, nonprofit Stripe is not hosting that email anymore. Really? I think I used it like a week ago. So nonprofit@stripe.com didn't work. It kicked back. That's interesting. Well, I do know that they offer a nonprofit rate. It didn't work for me.
Yeah, there's a couple people.
Oh man. Okay, I'll stop giving that out. Sorry, guys. It worked for me before, and I know that's the one we have been using. So yeah, you're just gonna have to reach out to Stripe in general. Hopefully you can get connected with someone. But as a nonprofit, you should be at a nonprofit rate, which is 2.2% plus 30 cents per transaction. So they sent you to another page. Okay, well, hopefully you connect with them and get that going. All right, let's go to the next screen here. we have resources, we do newsletters, we have a blog. The blog has a lot of stuff about our mindful giving success stories of folks who have reached more donors through that platform and how that's really worked for a lot of organizations. Okay, next. Oh,
Oh, we did it backwards.
there you go. Did we? Okay. Well, our upcoming webinars, we have Abby James, who was with us last year. She's got some new stuff I heard on SEO and Google Analytics and Google things. So she's going to be our presenter next month. In August, we're planning to do image and mobile optimization, the ADA rules, some of that stuff. And then September, I think we're going to do a full, more detailed layout builder type of presentation, because by then hopefully a bunch of you have it installed and you'll be able to follow along and work on that. Okay. And we're reaching the end. We're even early. I'm so impressed. Okay, well, and the question board is cleared. You are welcome to reach out with questions. You are welcome to book meetings with your account manager or email us, and we'll have this recorded webinar up on our support site, usually by like Monday. So thank you all very much and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oops.